Hello audience, good day and welcome to episode 3 of Jazz Up Your Day, Just Do One. Today we're going to be talking about 8 tips for motivation. So stay tuned as we go through those 8 tips for motivation. So number 1. As Julie Andrews once said, perseverance is failing 19 times and succeeding the 20th. So if at first you don't succeed, try, and try again. It worked really well for her. Takes me back to The Sound of Music. Yes, run over that hill with your arms open. Anyway, I'm going sidetrack. Over to you for tip number 2.
Sorry, I'm still in those hills, enjoying that. So, tip number 2 is to write your goals down and make them SMART. So, I can never remember what SMART means, but everybody else knows what it means, don't they? But also including that, who can help? What do you need from them? And take the tiny first step. If it's a bit of a challenge, remind yourself that those goals have to be yours and nobody else's. That's really important. Sometimes it's good to attach a value to the goal. So thinking about the benefits that it might bring to you or to your family or to work. You might want to frame it as an asset, sort of, for example, achieving a qualification at the end. And you might want to set it as a learning goal rather than a performance goal. Those tend to be more successful according to the research. So that's it for tip number 2. Write down your goals.
Tip number 3. Take control of your story and create a future you want to achieve. Sometimes we tell ourselves stories that perhaps are not the outcome we want, and therefore we're not really motivated to achieve where we don't want to go. So when you start on your journey, think about what is the reason you want to do something. What is the worst that could happen? And would I be okay with that? If you don't see your goals as meaningful or you don't value them, then you're less likely to engage with them, which means you're less motivated to achieve something. So tip number 3 is take control of your story and create a future you want to achieve.
And Okay, now we're in at tip number 4. So this is teaming up with your partner in crime, working out with somebody or doing an activity with somebody really helps you to be motivated and to stay motivated. And this is because one of the reasons you don't want to let the other person down. So you'll turn up to do that exercise or that lovely walk in the park because you don't want to let your partner in crime down. And it's a real, if it is exercise that you're doing, we know that group exercise classes work really, really well just because they're fun and they're consistent. You consistently show up and you push yourselves harder with those people around you to encourage you. So a few things that you can do there is team up.
Very good. I do like that. It has that bit of accountability, doesn't it, as well?
It does, yeah.
Well, in at number 5 is just go and Spotify yourself. Make yourself a playlist that inspires you. This helps to set the tone for the day, and coupled with just starting can really create momentum to move forward with whatever you're planning for that day. So I've got a very big Spotify list, but at the moment I'm obsessed with Cher singing the Golden Girls theme tune. So I must have listened to it around about 50 times, and that really motivates me and puts a little smile on my face. So tip number 5, Spotify yourself.
Oh, that is true. I can vouch for that, Christian, because you make us ring you up, don't you, just so you can listen to the Cher song.
Might do, yeah.
Yeah.
I even like nuisance callers now because I just let it play to the very end.
There is a lot of research around music and how that can lift you up for the day, no matter what it is. Okay, so our next tip is tip number 6, which is around affirmations and mantras. So set yourself an affirmation for the day. So you can do this in the morning, and what you're doing is planting a little seed to have a fabulous day. So you start your day off really well, and you maintain that momentum that Christian was talking about earlier to get through the day and to have a great day. And my mantra, my little affirmation in the morning is, today will be a great day. And it's really brilliant, and it gives you that bit of control, that autonomy. And what you just need to do, though, is to commit to it and to repeat it. And a top tip with affirmations and mantras is that they need to be short and they need to be really positive, and then your day will fly.
Tip number 7, reward yourself. Now, I'm sure you did this with Grumpy Duncan. When training a dog, we reward them with a treat. This helps to lock in those good behaviours. So you must like a treat too. So remember to treat yourself, to celebrate those small achievements, no matter how small they are. This in turn will activate the happy hormone, dopamine, which will make you feel good and of course happy, which in turn will make you more motivated to achieve whatever you plan to achieve.
That made me think, that was the silence. I was pondering the dopamine.
Oh.
Yeah, because there's some new research around dopamine, and that it is to do with that. And it's also to do with striving towards something, so it fits really well with motivation. Some interesting research with rats.
Yes.
Yeah, and treating rats. Yeah.
We can talk about rats on another podcast.
We can.
There's the rat cage experiment, which I was telling you about the other day. But, no spoilers.
Yeah, we'll have a rat-based podcast.
Marvellous.
Yeah. So our next tip, which is, I believe it's number 8, this is visualization. So this is creating a mental image of a future event. So it's actually a really powerful tool, particularly for performance as well. And it'll help you to remain motivated, but to succeed at that SMART goal that you've set yourself. So the other thing that it does is also, and I know a lot about this, it helps counter procrastination as well. Other ways to counter procrastination, if I can say it.
Easy for you to say.
Is to set yourself a time limit for an activity. So if I'm going to be doing a bit of weightlifting in my kitchen, I will procrastinate. The bag of washing is in the way. The dog's bowl is in the way. How am I going to get to it? What I do is say, well, just do it for 20 minutes. That'll be fine. And invariably, I do it for longer than 20 minutes. And the other thing, as Christian said, is the rewards. So the tiny rewards. I love a cup of tea afterwards, sometimes during weightlifting. But I asked Jermaine, the personal trainer that we know, and he said a cup of tea was fine. So I go with that. Yeah, he says, you just got to do what you need to do. Lay out your gym stuff the night before. I've also, I know I'm talking about exercise a lot here, but this could be to do with any goal that you wanted to achieve. But I think that linking exercise to something nice is also good. So if I do some exercise, I'm going to meet that fantastic group of women that I work out with, and I know I'll have a really good laugh. So linking it to something else is always good. And the other ways that you can visualize things is through vision boards. So we know Mr. C is very visual. I know he's got that big, beautiful picture up there from the last podcast that he's working on. You can also use quotes and, as we said before, music. So tip number 8, visualization.
Well, you know what? I'm going to throw in a Brucey bonus here.
Great stuff.
Procrastination. I was listening to a podcast recently I was talking about Mel Robbins, and she came up with something called the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 launch. Now, if you just count backward from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then just launch into whatever you want to do to get some motivation towards something, that'll actually stop you from procrastinating. So there was a Brucey bonus.
I love that Brucey bonus.
It's like one of those Easter eggs, isn't it, that you get in movies?
Yeah. Oh, that's so
there
good.
We go.
And that is that energy that we talked about right at the start, isn't it? That motivation bit. It is the get up and go, the immediate movement, the energy that's incorporated.
Absolutely. Love that. So, Helen, I have a very serious question for you. If you was going to just do one, which one would it be?
So this week, Mr. Christian, I am going to go for the visualization. And the thing that I'm going to visualize is at the end of a period of exercise when I'm perhaps running up to the door successfully. I've done 5K super duper fast. I'm feeling great. So I'm going to visualize the end of the exercise. So that's what I'm going to focus on.
I love it.
I know. And Mr. Christian, if you were just going to do one, which one would you choose?
Well, I'm going to go with visualization. Because I know you're surprised, aren't you?
Yeah.
I know. Because I haven't done it for a while, but I think it's a really good thing to just sort of put yourself and think of something positive in the future and then move towards that. So I quite like visualization, but it wasn't until you was talking about it I realised I haven't done it for a while. So that's what I'm going to do. So thank you very much to all our audience for listening to episode 3 of Jazz Up Your Day.
Just do one.